Wait a minute. Is that... Oh my gosh! It's been forever. Welcome back. Or, I don't know, if you've seen my shorts, welcome back. I know it's been way too long, and I apologize for that. But, a lot of stuff's changed, and being able to make videos is one of the things that I'm looking forward to most. So, if you are watching, thank you so much. I hope that it's worth it, and if it's not, please tell me how I can make it better. So, in honor of my first video, I thought that we would make one of my favorites and both my roommates' favorite meals. Cue the music, Mongolian Beef. While it is just a takeout meal, it is actually amazing. I've always lived in the Midwest, so until I went to college, I never lived in a town that was actually big enough for you to go get that as a takeout meal, even though it isn't something that I ate until relatively recently. I've absolutely fallen in love with it and basically been making it nonstop since then. So this is kind of my take slash favorite recipe for it. I honestly recommend you try it, and if you think there's anything it needs, well, again, let me know. That's the fun part about this, right? Without further ado, let's get into it. Awesome. So to get this meal started, we're going to get 2 pieces of 12-ounce ribeye. You don't have to use this. Flank steak also works perfectly. So this is just what I happen to have in the freezer. But besides that, what we're going to do first is cut all of the fat off of the outside. Make sure not to throw it away because we're actually going to use that for later. So make sure to just cut it off and then keep it to the side. After that, just line up your steaks and then just cut them into, I like to say bite-sized to a little bigger than bite-sized pieces, because when I make it, I like the option of either having one big bite or getting to, split it into 2 and it's still just fine. But again, if you're making it for yourself, do it however you like. So after your steak's cut up to the whatever size you want it to be, all you want to do is just throw it inside of a plastic bag with about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I like to compress it and make it airtight. Going off zero science, I think it works better, but who knows, right? So after you do that and roll it up, you want to throw it in the fridge and basically let it marinate for anywhere between a half an hour and 4 hours. Now to get this beef looking fried and beautiful, all you need to use actually is cornstarch, which is pretty easy and amazing. So I always just like to get a plate, pour the cornstarch on there. I like to coat each piece individually. It's up to you. You can do them in batches or by themselves. I personally just think they get a better coat when they get a little more attention. So after you do that to however many pieces you make, all you want to do is just throw them inside the freezer while you season your wok. After your wok's all nice and seasoned, you just want to pour out that old oil and then pour in new oil for you to fry your beef. You actually don't have to use vegetable oil, and I actually don't recommend it anymore. If you can do it, try beef tallow. I actually just tried that the last time I made it, and it was absolutely amazing. I just wish I would have known about it when I recorded this, but I do now, and I hopefully can say I learned the lesson for some. Use either one, and it'll still be absolutely amazing. So once you toss them inside the oil or beef tallow, all you want to do is basically just let them kind of sit there for about a minute or so. You want the oil temperature to be about anywhere from like 400 to 375. You do want it to be hotter just so it'll form that crust, and they're thin enough pieces so you really don't need to worry about them being undercooked or anything like that. If anything, one of your main concerns is kind of overcooking them, but you'll get the hang of it. You may mess up a piece or two, but I still do that occasionally, so don't beat yourself up too hard. About a minute, you want to flip the beef over, or just whenever you think it's starting to look crispy too, because, everyone's ovens are different, so I can't guarantee my temperature would work. You don't have to use a wok, but it's the way that I've always done it, and I find it to be the easier. I prefer to fry the beef in small batches of normally like 4, maybe occasionally 5. You can do all of it at once, but you will not get you basically won't get a crispy skin like that at all. So Be warned, you do save a bunch of time doing it that way, but you know, you are kind of making some sacrifices. Awesome. So once your beef is looking all crispy and delicious, you can just take that off and put it to the side. Fry up all your beef and then just pour that oil out of your wok before grabbing your beef fat from earlier out of the fridge, and then throw that into the wok while it's still hot, so it'll help you render out all that fat. So once you have all your green onions cut, I like to use about 90% of them to just throw inside the sauce, and then I'll save the last 10% for a garnish, but you can always adjust that ratio how you'd like. I just love green onions, so for me, the more the better. So once all that fat's rendered, you want to pull out your pieces, and then you're immediately going to go in with your green onions while it's still hot. So you're going to want to stir those around and just let that fry up. It'll start to smell it really good. That's when you want to throw in a pinch of ginger and give it a good stir. While all of this is happening, you want to have some water boiling next to you for your noodles. I love using udon noodles for this, but any kind of flat rice noodle would work. But once you throw those in, all you want to do is start to actually get everything for your sauce ready. I like to use about a cup of soy sauce, a cup of brown sugar, and then over a half cup of spicy gochujang. But you can always use less and always use more. I prefer to go a little heavier on it personally because I see a lot of recipes where people say to only add 1 tablespoon, and I don't know, that's just honestly not enough in my opinion. So once you've added all those things in, you just want to start to give it a stir. It will take a little bit to heat up and thicken out, so if it seems like really watery when you first start to combine it, don't worry. Just give it time to simmer and it'll be just fine. While your sauce is finishing up, you want to strain your noodles and spray them with cold water. This is so they don't overcook because no one likes mushy noodles. After that's done, you want to get your beef that you set aside from earlier, and then once your sauce is nice and thick, you just want to pour all your beef in there, and then just mix it up until it's just nice and saucy and beautiful. This is just one of the best parts about the meal, is just the beef in here is absolutely amazing. And especially if you splurge for a nicer cut, it is just some of the best bites you'll ever have. Add your noodles and just same thing as you did with the beef, just start to just give that a really nice stir. You do have to stir a little more for the noodles just because, you know, it takes a little longer, but then once it's looking just nice and beautiful, all you want to do is just add about 2 to 3 cloves of minced garlic and just put that right in there and just give it another really good mix. You can always add more garlic, but that's always been about my favorite. Then once it's sizzling and looking perfect, all you have to do is just scoop it right out of your wok and just right into a bowl on the side. I always do this just because I normally like to clean my wok right after I get done cooking with it. I love to eat it with roasted broccoli on the side. You can really just do whatever sides you want, but I don't know, something about it with broccoli, it's just a really good combination. And I also love to top it with a little bit of green onions, but again, it's a fun thing about food, right? Do whatever you want with it. Awesome, and all you have left to do now is really sit down and enjoy. I love to get a bite with basically one of everything on it because, I don't know, when I cook something, I like to have foods that you can just do this with because, I don't know, I just feel like combining food's just one of the best things in life. And if you watched this far, I really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day. Please like and subscribe, and I can't wait to talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.